Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 464 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today I'm going to do another Ask Me a Question. I mean, I get so many questions out here, I've got to tell you, that I figured I'm going to put a lot of these in these past couple of weeks, and anytime I get more of them, I'll just do another Ask Me a Question. It gives you a lot of variety on the things you need to know to be successful in business. I hope you didn't miss episode 463. That was all about surveys. So you can get an enormous amount of media coverage and turn that coverage into cash by doing surveys correctly. And you don't even have to do a survey to use surveys to get money and backlinks to your website, which are very important, and all that stuff. So that was episode 463. And of course, anytime you want to hear a back episode, you go to screwthecommute.com and then / the episode number /463. All right, how'd you like me to send you big checks or PayPal or gold bullion or whatever you want? I don't understand crypto, so you might get rich if I sent you any crypto. I don't know. We have a very robust affiliate program. We're happy to send money to people that refer us. So check that out by emailing me at tom@screwthecommute.com and let me know if you're interested, and we'll give you the details. All right, grab a copy of our automation ebook. This ebook has saved me millions of keystrokes over the years, handled, 65,000 customers, 150,000 subscribers, and just everything goes way faster with this book. So grab it at screwthecommute.com/automate free, screwthecommute.com/automate free, and pick up a copy of our podcast app while you're at it. It's screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. And you can put us on your cell phone and tablet and take us with you on the road. Now, I'm right in the middle of this big campaign to help people with disabilities get through my school so that they can not only learn remotely, they can legitimately get hired remotely. And we're going to hire people to help administer the program, and we're going to have a job placement thing going on. So this is really something you could help change people's lives. And to fund the whole thing, we're doing a GoFundMe campaign. So check it out at my school site, imtcva.org, imtcva.org/disabilities. That's plural, disabilities. And right at the top is the GoFundMe link, and then you can see some of the people already in the program and all that stuff. So give us a hand, and you'll be doing some great things for people that, when I say hand, they got dealt a little tougher hand than most of us. All right, let's get to the main event. Ask me some questions. Well, first question is, how do I research potential affiliates for my products? Well, first thing is like the first episode of this show, this 130th episode of this show, you do keyword research. And then you take the people that pop up on the first 2 pages or maybe 3 pages on Google because you know they have a lot of traffic if they're on the first page. Now, here's some things to check out. Do they have an opt-in for something? Give away a freebie or a newsletter or something? Well, get yourself a throwaway email address and sign up for all these lists that people have and see the kinds of things they promote in their list. Next thing, check, do they accept advertising? Do you see ads for different companies all over the place? Do they have blog postings and articles with bylines? A byline is like if an article was Screw the Commute by Tom Antion. By Tom Antion is the byline. Now, would I bother to put that on my site, Screw the Commute, if I wrote the article? No. But if Joe Schmo wrote the article by Joe Schmo, that means that I'm willing to accept articles from other authors, or blog postings. So you want to look for bylines with different names in them. And do they have an affiliate disclaimer somewhere, which is required now by law that you disclaim or alert the public that you could get a commission on things that you recommend? Well, right there, it's telling you that they're interested in affiliate commissions. So I say start a spreadsheet and also put on it whatever possible ways they want to be contacted. Some of them only have a form, some of them have email addresses, some of them have phone numbers, so contact them however you can to do your pitch on your affiliate stuff. All right, so that's how you find affiliates for your products. Of course, you always have the big players like JVZoo and ClickBank, Share a Sale, that kind of place. Okay, next question. How do I lay out an e-commerce store? So there's two major ways. I'll call them A and B. A is a page on your website. Well, I mean, you're always going to start with a page on your website for your store. And A would be by topic, and B would be by format. So I'll explain that. So A happens to be the way I do it. And the reason is because I have multiple topics. I have professional speaking, public speaking, that kind of stuff. I have entrepreneurship. This podcast is an example. It's not a product per se, but so I have entrepreneurship stuff. I have tennis stuff. I have protection dog stuff. I have digital marketing stuff, so many different topics. So I lay my store out by the first page they hit, they get to pick the topic that they're interested in, say. When they pick the topic, they click a link and they go to a page with all the products listed on that topic. Now, not the full sales letters for each product, just maybe a graphic of the product and maybe a 1 or 2 sentence description of the product, an add to cart kind of button if it's a cheap product, and a more info link to take them to the next step. So if they already know they want, let's say, my book on viral marketing, they click on digital marketing on the first page, and then they click on the add to cart for the viral marketing book, and bam, wham, thank you, ma'am. There they go. But let's say they're looking through my products on digital marketing, and they say, oh, I'd like to know more about that digital marketing book. So they click the more info button, and that takes them to a full sales page on the viral marketing book, where then they can add to cart. So they can add to cart in 2 places. If they're already kind of pre-sold and they just want to quickly buy it, then they can buy it right from the page that has all the digital marketing products. If they need more details, then they go to the full sales letter and they can buy it from there. So that's laying it out by topic. Now, B is laying it out by format. So this would be more appropriate if you are all on one topic, leadership, let's say, or golf, or whatever it is. So in that case, all the products are going to be about golf in some fashion. So you have an option here. And now I do know there's lots of different things topics within golf. So you could use A if you talked about putting or the short game or the mental game, so that's a possibility. But if it's all on one topic, you can pick by format. So the first page they come to, maybe you have ebooks. So they have a link that says ebooks. Maybe you have a lot of audio products, audio, printed books, membership sites, online courses, consulting, etc. So that would be what format they're interested in. So if they're on the road all the time, they might click on audio and look at all your audio products. Now, the audio product might be an audio copy of your ebook. So you can offer them bonuses or upsells. Like if they bought the audio, you could upsell them to the ebook of the same topic and vice versa. That's laying your site out by format. And it goes all the way down to individual sales letters for each product. Now, one other way to lay things out, I would say usually in addition to what I just told you, is an abbreviated sales page with just a buy now or add to cart link. Now, this would be a page you would send people to from a webinar where maybe you were just on for 90 minutes pre-selling them and telling them how great the product was and telling them all about it. So you just want them to check out, just go there and check out. Or maybe you're on a Facebook Live or something like that. So they're pretty much sold before they get to the page, and you don't want to necessarily force them to read through everything to buy. Now, I've violated any of these rules on occasion, all right, but these are the best practices. And you can also put a search function on your store if you have a lot of products. All right, so that's laying out an e-commerce store. All right, so this next thing is not necessarily a question, but it's something that came up the other day, and it comes up quite frequently. So one of my students, that's going to go unnamed, is a major expert in her field. Her book sold, I don't know, 400,000 copies, something like that, and many other newbies in the field use her material, and don't necessarily give her credit for it. And they're great marketers, so they're really doing well. But one of the things you want to avoid is to compare yourself to people. Now, it's not a bad idea to see what other people are doing, and of course take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of it is a bunch of BS, all right? So that's okay, but if you're susceptible to starting to feel bad and get depressed because it appears that somebody's doing better than you, especially if you were around long before them and they're stealing your material, okay? So it might not, I mean, this lady's been around so long, her materials become almost like Kleenex. It's like everybody knows it now, but she invented it a long time ago. So she was showing me some of the Instagram accounts of these competitors and telling me how successful they are, and she was obviously feeling bad about it. So I started, of course, looking at the Instagram accounts, and the first one she showed me had 8,800 followers. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at their last 4, 5, 6 posts and see how many comments they had. I think between the last 4, 5, or 6 posts, she had maybe 3 comments among all of them. All right, instantly, I think, impossible. There's no way you had 8,800 followers and only legitimate followers and only have 3 comments. So then she shows me one with 31,000 followers. The most she had was 5 comments on any post. Impossible. Then she showed me one with 65,000 followers. And the most I saw on any of her posts was a 20 comment on one of them. Most of them were about 5. This is totally impossible. If those were real, then you'd have way more comments than that. I mean, I can get on one account, I got like 300 legitimate followers, and I'm getting 30 comments. All right. So that's real. So it's possible that the principal of the competitor doesn't know any better, and the people helping her with Instagram, or I don't know if it's a he or she, helping her just says, oh, I'm going to build the numbers up really high because the boss doesn't know any better about engagement, or else even the person helping may not know about engagement. And so it's going to look really good and they'll keep paying me. All right. So most of these are what we call ghost followers. They're either fake, that they were just purchased, you went to Fiverr and purchased a bunch of fake followers, or, I mean, a ghost follower could really be your best friend from grade school. But if they don't engage on your channel when you make a post, they're hurting you. Now, you might feel bad about getting rid of them, but it doesn't hurt them to get rid of them, other than their feelings if they find out and ask you why you got rid of me. you have to explain, well, the more people that are on the account, the less your engagement percentage is, and it makes you look worse to Instagram, Facebook, whoever does these kinds of things. And so you must clean them out. And I'm going to tell you the way that I go about, and it is a pain in the neck, especially if you let it get away from you, like the person that had 65,000 followers, which probably 40,000 of them are ghosts. So it'd take a long time to clean that mess up, or, and I'm sure she wouldn't want to start over again. And the reason it takes a long time to clean it up is because you shouldn't get rid of more than 100 followers a day, or that looks really fishy to Instagram, and then they hate you even worse. So here's what you do. You have to pull up your follower list. You just click on it. Like, let's take Instagram. And I'm going to tell you some ways that to instantly know that these people are ghosts. They're not helping you. First, if they have no picture, chances are it's fake account. Get rid of it. If their last post was more than a month ago, well, they're not active. So they're ghosts. Get rid of them. Now, if they have an enormous number of people that they're following, let's say more than 1,000, get rid of them. Now, why? They might be totally legitimate person. Well, if they have 1,000 followers, what's the chance as those 1,000 followers put stuff up on Instagram that person is going to stop and, oh, that's really interesting for each one, and then engage with yours? No, the chances are they're never even going to see yours. It's going to go so fast. So if they have an enormous number of followers, get rid of them. They're never going to see your stuff and never engage with it. Oh, I got to put a correction in, folks. I meant to say if they are following lots of people, more than 1,000, I mean, even 800, 900. The problem is if they're following that many people, they're never going to see your stuff as it comes through their interface. 1,000 people putting up stuff, and they'll never see yours. So one of the criteria is if you see somebody that's following tons of people, I've seen them in 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people they're following, get rid of them. They're ghosts. They're never going to see your stuff or engage with it. Okay, back to the show. If they have no followers and no postings. Now, if it's a brand new person and you know them and they're just getting started and they start engaging with you, great. But if you go do what I'm telling you, you're going to see a bunch of people that have no followers, no postings, and no nothing, and they're never going to engage with you. So get rid of them. But like I said, you can't do more than get rid of more than 100 per day. So if you had, like for instance, I had 1,300 when I had to clean up one, and I got it down to 300. So that was at least 10 days it took me to clean it up, 100 per day. See? So if you catch this now and then once a week check in on this, then you'll keep a really good Instagram account. Now, what good does this do you? Well, let's say you had 1,000 followers and you would get 10 comments per posting average, let's say. So that is a 1% engagement rate. Now, there's other ways to engage, okay? So they can like your thing, they can comment is worth more, sharing is worth more. These are all in general. And saving your post is worth more. But let's just use comments as the benchmark. So you had 1,000 followers and 10 average comments. That's a 1% engagement rate. But let's say 500 of those followers were ghosts and you cleaned them out of there. Well, now you're still getting 10 comments from the good people, but your engagement rate has doubled to 2%, which makes you look way better to Instagram, This accounts for Facebook too, or other places that do this kind of stuff. So you doubled your engagement rate. All right, that in itself is wonderful because now Instagram looks on you more favorably. Well, looking on you more favorably, what does that mean? That means that they're going to show your stuff to more of your followers. See, everybody doesn't see when you put something up. In fact, for most of you, if I looked at your account, nobody is seeing what you're doing. You're just kind of spitting in the wind because you've got too many ghosts and not enough engagement. And so Instagram and Facebook and all these places do what they call a micro test. So as soon as you put up a posting, they put it in front of some of your followers. And if nobody engages, that's the end of it. They're not going to bother, putting it out to a bunch of other people if the post appears to be worthless because nobody engaged with it. See, so that also means you should put your posts up when most of your people are going to be on. Don't put something up at 2 a.m. thinking that, I have some time to do this. No, you just totally wasted everything because nobody's awake to engage with it. And the micro test, you fail the micro test, and that's the end of it. You made that post, you killed yourself to make it, and then it went nowhere. All right. And that's a very common thing where people spending all this time making posts and they go nowhere. All right. So that's a little bit about ghost followers. So don't get whacked out when somebody appears to be doing better than you. It could be all fake. And you can check other people's too. This is all public information. You can go to their follower list, see who's following them, and check out their if they're ghosts or not with what I just told you. So and sometimes I do this when people ask me to work with like trade postings, and not trade postings, but trade engagement with them. And I say, well, I'm willing to do that. You don't want to do a lot of that because it looks fishy to Instagram, but sometimes I'm willing to do it, but not if they're full of ghosts, see? Because I know that I'm not going to get much out of it. They're not going to get as much out of it. So I say, clean up your ghosts and then we'll talk. All right. So that's enough on that one. Next question. I heard there are legal aspects of pre-publication sales. What are they? Okay, well, first thing, pre-publication sales are a good thing in that you can get money in to your bank account right away before your product is finished or even started. All right, really. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly legit. Where people get into trouble is that they promise a delivery date and then they run into some complication and they don't deliver on time. That's where you crossed into being illegal. So what do you do about it? Well, if you are coming up on the promised delivery date and you realize that you won't be able to deliver on that date, you're obligated to contact the buyer and give them an option to either get a refund or agree to extend your delivery date. And I'm just doing in the middle of one now where I'm going to do one on my new crowdfunding ebook, and the money is going to go all to the scholarship fund for the disabled people, but I'll get the money in faster, and then I'll give a delivery date on the book. And if in fact something comes up that I can't deliver, I'll offer to refund their money or ask them if they wouldn't mind if I took another week or something like that. So that's the legal ramifications, but don't avoid doing pre-publication sales to help finance your projects and to get money in quick. All right, next question. You talk about screen capture video a lot. What is it and what can you do with it? Well, I've been using screen capture video for 21 and a half years now. So what it is, for those of you who don't know, screen capture it's a service or a piece of software that will record anything you can display on your computer screen, and you can narrate over top of it with your voice of what they are seeing. Now, you can have your picture in picture, I call it. So you could have your picture over on the side if you wanted to. I hardly ever do it, but you could do that. But it kind of negates one of the big benefits is you can have a bad hair day and be naked and still do all the kinds of things you can do with screen capture, right? So I guess you could still be naked with picture in picture if your head was just showing. Now, I happen to use Camtasia, which is the gold standard, but there are others. All you have to do is Google video screen capture. See, screen capture also, the still images, you have like a clipping thing on a PC, and I don't know what it's called on a Mac. So that's just capturing still images. Video screen capture is you're just capturing any kind of thing that you can display on your computer screen. Now, here are some of the things I do with it and why I love it so much and have been using it continuously for 21 and a half years. So you can make affiliate money with it. So I teach people, with screen capture, I bring up a software program or an online service or something like that, and I teach people how to use it and how wonderful it is and all the great things it'll do for you. But then to do it, they have to buy it through my affiliate link. And so that's how I've made loads and loads of money over many years with affiliate marketing, because, I don't create software or software as a service. So I don't really have any of that to sell my own stuff. If you did, definitely you should use screen capture to show people how to use it and all that. But I just do affiliate stuff with that. So that makes a lot of money. Now, I have made products out of screen capture video. I had 50 videos on a CD-ROM, all screen capture. And the way it was $199 for the CD-ROM. And I would use it. I'm kind of an expert at selling when you're not allowed to sell. So when I used to do corporate speaking, I would show maybe 3 videos during the course of a 90-minute speech. And then people would be saying, hey, where'd you get those videos? And I said, well, I'm not allowed to sell here. I have this DVD this CD that's got 50 of them on there. So they would badger the meeting planner or the organizer. Hey, he said he can't sell us those videos. So what's up? And then they would come to me and ask me if I would sell it to them when they already told me I couldn't sell. I love that. But one time I was it cost, I don't know, $2 to duplicate this CD-ROM. Once all the videos were on it, I was speaking at this major event, this Wharton Business School thing, an e-commerce thing in Washington, D.C. And so I said, hey, I'm one of the main speakers. I'll be glad to give you 100 of these CDs to give out as sign-up premiums. Keep that in mind, folks, any of you that do speaking and at events. Offer a sign-up premium so that they could advertise the first 100 people that signed up got a copy of this CD-ROM with all these great videos on it. So remember, this is a $200 CD-ROM. It only cost me $2 to duplicate. So I give them 100, which costs me $200. But at retail, it's a $20,000 sponsorship that I just gave to the event. So I'm up there with GE and Alcoa and little country bumpkin Tom is up there with Wharton Business School and all these other big sponsors. So anyway, that's just a little sidebar of what one of the ways I did it. But anyway, I made a product out of this. All right, another thing it does is save tons of time. So I used to remember, as far as I know, I'm still the biggest reseller in the world for Kickstart Cart. One of the ways I became that is I offered a one-on-one consultation, unlimited, to help people learn how to use the cart. So they use all the fancy features and the upselling and the affiliate program and autoresponders and broadcast email and all this stuff. And so the whole one-on-one consultation usually went to about 7 hours, not all in one time, maybe 7 sessions at an hour apiece. And I had 1,500 users, right? So this was eating up an enormous amount of time. So what I did is I recorded, I think about 44. I took I remember it was a July 4th weekend years and years ago. I recorded 44 of these screen capture videos showing all the functions of the cart. And I put them up on a website. It's still there today with some updated videos called howtoUseAShoppingCart.com. HowtoUseAShoppingCart.com. I think we'll have that in the show notes. Then I had people watch them before we did the one-on-one consultation. And that cut my one-on-one consultations down to about 2 sessions of an hour instead of 7 hours. So it saved me enormous amount of time. You can do training and support using screen capture. Also, it saved time on employee training. So if there was new employees that had to do some function that we always had to do over and over again, instead of me holding their hand or some other employee taking time to show them how to do something, we just showed them a video of it and then just supervised them to make sure they got it, and boom, done, instead of sitting there for an hour teaching them how to do it. So it saves enormous time. And support, sometimes, instead of trying to type all the nuances to questions I get to fix somebody's problem, one of my mentees, it's way faster and more understandable for me to just show them with a custom video for them. Sometimes I can use the video over again if it's the same problem, but if it's some specific problem, instead of me trying to email back and forth, asking them questions, and they don't really know what, maybe they're not experienced enough to know what the heck's going on, I just shoot a video, a Camtasia video, and say, here, click here, do this. If you have trouble, do this over here. And then they can see it and replay it over and over again, and then only call me if they have a problem. So just enormous, great, handy thing for that. Now, here's one mistake that just drives people crazy. And I just watched a 40-minute video by a really, really smart engineer who was critiquing this building that collapsed in Surfside and down in Miami somewhere. And so they actually had video footage, surveillance footage, that showed how, the actual collapse of the building. So he's breaking it down like every little nuance. The problem was, and this guy's brilliant, the problem was the cursor, every time he would refer, look over here, and he'd move his cursor, but it was so tiny nobody could see it. All the comments were, hey, you're brilliant, but we couldn't follow this thing because we couldn't see the cursor. All right, so Camtasia, and probably some of the other ones, has a thing that I use frequently where it's a translucent, colored big ball around the cursor. And you can make it different colors. I usually make mine yellow. But you can see through it, but you see this big yellow ball right where my cursor is. So you don't get lost when I'm trying to show you something. So that's a critical piece if you decide to do this, to make sure you make a giant cursor. Another little thing you can do if your software doesn't have that capability is make little circles, movement around where you're doing, rather than just move your mouse there and stop. Make circles with it so it makes movement that grabs the person's eye and jumps over to where the cursor is. But if you just move the cursor and it's tiny, you're just, you're going to get a lot of complaints because people can't follow you. Okay, so that's my questions for today. So, hey, get over there and help out the crowdfunding campaign to help those folks with disabilities get through the school and get hired and get off the, I don't know, I didn't ask them if they were on welfare rolls, but I suspect some of them are. No, I'll take that back. I don't know if any of that's true or not. I just want to help them get work so that they never have to think about getting on welfare rolls, and they can really make a lot of good living. And a lot of these people, the statistics show that there's 4 times a higher likelihood of suicide. There's 3.7 higher incidence of depression. Their unemployment rate is at an all-time high. I'm going to do something about it, and I really need your help. So check it out at imtcva.org/disabilities. click on the GoFundMe campaign, and anything you can throw in helps. And if you're really flush with cash, get in touch with me. Maybe you can sponsor one person yourself. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And we'll catch you on the next episode. See you later.